Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Tophat. I've made it no secret that I love the real Ghostbusters. To me, it's the greatest cartoon to be made in the 80s. In fact, I think it's one of the greatest cartoons ever made. So when they announced the new Ghostbusters cartoon for Netflix, naturally, I got pretty excited. And they've recently released the logo, which I think looks pretty good, and they've given more details about it. So in today's video, I'm going to go over those details and share my thoughts. So without further ado, let's begin. Ghostbusters Night Shift is set to take place in New York City in the year 1994. Unlike the real Ghostbusters, it's meant to be canon to the movies, as a way to bridge the gap between Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters Afterlife. So far, so good. I'm liking the idea that it's canon, and, the real Ghostbusters takes place in its own universe, but as a fan, I've always seen it as canon, but that's just me. But, I'm liking this approach. The cartoon will also be a mix of standalone episodes and serialized storytelling. Jason Reitman and Gil Cannon want the episodes to be enjoyed as single episodes, but the whole season will have a complete story. To quote Cannon, "We want the seasons to feel like real big meaty epic stories, but each episode also is satisfying as an episode." That's a big difference from the real Ghostbusters. That series was standalone stories where they had a Monster of the Week or Ghost of the Week. They did have callbacks to previous episodes, but you can watch them in any order you want and not feel lost. And this one, they're trying to do like a one big storyline, but the episodes are individual. I'm liking that approach. I think that's interesting. I do like serialized stories and I do like standalones. When done right, of course, so this is something unique and different to Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Night Shift will not be about Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston. It will be about a whole new team. Here we go. It's gonna be Extreme Ghostbusters all over again. I just know it. Why do people think Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston are disposable characters? They are the main reason why people fell in love with Ghostbusters to begin with. Every time they try to focus on a whole new team, it fails. Every time. Extreme Ghostbusters and 2016 Ghostbusters failed partially because they weren't about the core characters. Yes, they have their fan base. I admit that. But they never been as popular as Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston, and they never will be. Anyway, who are the new characters? There's Zoe, an adorable kid with a wisecracking attitude. Travis, a petty criminal who is part cool and part loser. Mitzi, a riot girl who is protective of her sister. Zephyr, Belladonna, the goth girl, the Kylie of the group, I guess. And Mike, the engineering genius. I have to admit, I laughed when I learned that there was a character in this show named Mike. For those of you who don't know, Finn Wolfhard, who played Trevor Spangler in Afterlife and Frozen Empire, played Mike Wheeler on Stranger Things. I'm not sure if the writers intentionally referenced Stranger Things, but it amuses me regardless. There's also a terror puppy with them. I'm guessing he's supposed to be like Slimer from the real Ghostbusters. I kinda like his inclusion. I just hope he isn't annoying. The characters have been described as a young, scrappy bunch. One of them is even riding a skateboard. Once again, I'm not liking the Extreme Ghostbusters vibe I'm getting from this. The whole appeal of Ghostbusters is that Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston are just four guys trying to run a business. Peter, Ray, and Egon were scientists who used to work for a university. Winston was a working man just trying to make a living. I'm not sure how old they're supposed to be, but I always assume that the guys are in their 30s at the time of the first movie. Although Peter is the wise guy of the team, they were never meant to be the cool kids or even that edgy. The thing I always hated about Extreme Ghostbusters is that it tried too hard to be edgy. Plus, I never liked the characters with the exception of Kylie. Afterlife worked because Phoebe and Trevor are Egon's grandkids and Callie is his daughter. They have a connection to one of the main characters. I don't think any of these new characters are connected to Peter, Ray, Egon, or Winston the way that Phoebe, Trevor, and Callie were to Egon. But I could be wrong. My ideal Ghostbusters cartoon would have been a direct adaptation of the IDW comics from 2011. Those comics were a Ghostbusters fan dream come true. It contained a ton of references to the franchise, yet it was able to tell their own unique stories. They kept Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston as the main focus, yet they created their own characters who I actually liked. I was never under the delusion that Jason Reitman and Gil Cannon were going to adapt the comics, but I did hope they would have done something similar to it. I was also hoping for a reboot of the real Ghostbusters. That would have been amazing. Both Reitman and Cannon have said they love the real Ghostbusters, but they wanted to do their own thing. I respect that, and honestly, I'm willing to give this new cartoon a watch when it comes out next year. I do want it to be good. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and I want all their projects to be good. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.